And these jerks in the chat, I mean, I swear, the thing you said about them was true, Mike. But are we live?
Oh,
geez.
We just happen to be so.
Oh,
there we go. A bit of subliminal advertising for you.
Oh, we're going early with the housekeeping.
Yeah, new style.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, for those who can't read,
say it out loud.
Yes.
What if I'm watching?
You gotta like, but there's something you're missing here. Not only do you have to like and subscribe, you gotta like, comment, and subscribe.
There's
So,
other things.
If you're in the chat right now, join in the conversation. We're all here to talk about records. If you're watching later, leave a comment. And there's other ways to support.
Yeah, you could donate.
If you want the after show, sign up for the Patreon. Patreon.com/analogattack. And if you want to go further, the OnlyFans for the all-nude record review.
And in the comments, please post 5 things you hate about each of us.
Yes. Oh God, that's going to be
finally real comments.
Yes. Hey everyone, it's Friday night again. Man, time flies when you're my age. I'm telling you. Back again. It's great to be back though. It's great to be back. Old school crew. Very familiar crew. Everyone knows.
Is this the first time you've had like a total repeat of like an exact same crew of people?
You know what? Let us know in the comments. I have no idea.
Okay.
Maybe. Perhaps.
I feel like it might be.
It feels like it. It feels exciting. There's a certain je ne sais quoi in the air. Cheers, everyone. I'm going to switch glasses soon. This is a big power runner. I'm going to probably knock it over. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for tuning in. If you're watching, make yourselves known in the comments, chip in, all that good stuff. If you're new, what we do, we've each got 5 records. We're going to have a great time nerding out, talking about 5 records each, maybe some bonuses that some people might cheekily sneak in. Who might that be? He says, looking at himself.
I might have one, but you know what? I stick with the rules. It's 5.
Straight 5.
I'm not doing
5
more.
CDs.
Nope. No, you'll be off.
5 mini discs.
5 wave files that I have enjoyed.
Yes.
All right. I'm liking it too. Evening, Daniel. Hey, Tony.
Yeah. Tony, I think you gave me that comp.
There you go. I need it actually. Top want. The top want of mine. So if you got another one, I'm the man. All right. Let's get going, shall we? Cheers, everyone. Settle yourselves down. It's going to be a great show.
Let's do it.
My first pick, it came in I ordered it online from Disc Union and went and picked it up, and it wasn't what I was expecting to get. I thought I was getting a new LP by this band. I didn't. I got like a discography LP instead. But I'm not really complaining, even though I already have a partial discography of this band, which is this. This is the partial discography. The first 2 singles. Everyone loves this band, I hope. I love them. Suicidas.
Well, I've never heard them, so.
That's one of those, is it?
But I still love them. Wow.
You still love them, even though yeah. This is like let's not use the word supergroup, but it's Carolina from Rui de Sola, Inmuns Dicia, and so Tete from Destino Final, Irael from Barcelona, and George from the same band as Carolina. It's their kind of like other group, and it's like totally different music to all of those bands. It's like great, fucking super catchy, melodic, hardcore punk. Both, dual female, male vocals. So this is the one I already had, which is the first 2 singles. And then the one I just got, which is the brand new one. This is my pick. This is the
you're doing that. Okay.
This is the complete discography now, which has the first 2 singles plus like 2 split singles, and then the third 7-inch, which isn't on this one, which only has the first 2 7-inches on it. So I'm probably still going to keep this because I love this band. But yeah, I thought I was getting a brand new studio record, but I just got like the full discography record. But man, this is a great. I'm surprised like at least one of you guys like haven't checked it. It's definitely up Dennis's alley. This is like super melodic, catchy, tuneful punk for fans of like the Assassinators or La Fraction, Accidente, but maybe a bit more raw than those bands. Just kidding, like every song's a hit single in my an alternate universe. Yeah, so the third single, Tony, you said there's another single that isn't even on this complete. Third single.
You're gonna buy another discography.
Yes, the third single is on this. It is on this. So I'm hoping that they're going to put out an actual like new full length LP. We'll see, but just great stuff. And if you're if you've lost your faith in punk, you're a bit. If you're jaded. What I would advise you to do, what I would advise you all to do, anyone, not now, but later in your own free time, is to get on the YouTube, type in Suicidas and Vertigo, and then on EN Directo, and just watch that. It's a live clip in Spain. It's in that festival that I've seen other bands. It's like out in the street, this very long street. I've seen like video of Accidente there, and the band is like in the street. And the audience is in front of them and behind them, like all the way. It's a pretty like famous punk festival in Spain. But man, you watch that and you're like, man.
Well, you know what? I'm going to YouTube it right now. And Jesse, you should do the same. Dennis, let's just play it right now, live on Analog Attack.
Do not.
So, Mike, I'm curious. Like, did you own any of the singles at all, or
no?
Did you?
Well, okay, nice. So apparently, this is
he owns them more than once now.
This is why this exists, is because they're kind of hard to get.
Oh, okay.
They're out of print.
I was wondering if you were like waiting for the 12-inch because you hate singles, because I know that doesn't.
Well, that's good. At all. Yes, I mean I'd rather have this than all the separate singles. Absolutely. So
Interesting. It's true. Those aren't a lot of 7-inch boxes behind you. It's just a bunch of 12 inches. Yes. So that's just something I've thought about recently. It's just kind of like with the massive discography stuff and everything that's coming out. It's like sometimes. Maybe I don't need all the little records. Maybe I can just buy the big record. But
that's where I've been for quite a few years now. It's like any good band that I like that has a singles collection, outgo the little ones, in comes one big one.
Oh man, the big ones are heavier.
It's all about the standing and sitting up time,
Mike, have you ever shown a little record on this show?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. At our age, it's best to get up and down at least 10 times a day.
Yeah, that's true. It keeps you spry.
An interesting little side thing to this is that the third 7-inch, I think, or one of the 7-inches was on all the Mad Men records, which I did not think was still going. This
is a newer band, right? Or not?
Yeah. It's all the Mad Men is the Mob, the Mob's label, and it's cool to see them putting out like current bands, and I think they're doing like a compilation of French bands like covering Mob songs, and I'm kind of interested to see who's on that, because there's a lot of great new French bands. So but it's cool that they're like keeping in touch with what's going on with the kids.
They're not jaded. They still love punk.
It's not what I thought it was going to be, but I'm still happy with it. Check it out if you like melodic punk in the sort of Assassinators mold. It's great. Suicidas.
I shall.
Yeah. There you go.
Sold.
There you go. All right. Mr. Conway.
Okay.
First pick of the
Yeah, I don't have any compilations of 7-inches, unfortunately, to follow that up with. But
that's fine.
Yeah, I think so. The first one I'll talk about. This is an Australian band. So yeah, also I've been like I just moved again. I just unpacked everything. So I've been listening to stuff that I haven't touched in years or days or whatever, which is usually...
I'm afraid of what you're going to pick. I hope I didn't pick the same thing.
Probably not. I don't know.
Okay.
But
all right.
This band is Tyrannoman.
That's what I was... God damn it.
Yes. Did I tell you Yeah, did I recommend this to you? Like, because I should have.
But we've talked about it.
Oh, we did talk about it. Okay, yeah. So like, this was just something that I was like, oh, I should pull this out because I remember it being really good, and it's still really good. Yeah. So to recommend, this is like 2010, 2011,
2015.
No, not this one. This is like 2010 or 11. Look at Discogs. Hey, you go to Discogs.
I did. I know. I bought it when it came out. I was going to talk about it. I had a whole spiel.
Okay. Well, maybe we can tag team on this one, my friend. So, comes out in 2015 or so, I'm told.
You know what? I'll check to make sure.
Maybe I was thinking of something else at 2010 or 2011.
You thinking of Royal Headache?
Yeah, like it basically came out right around when Royal Headache came out, and everybody was like, "Oh, wow, this is great Australian punk," and it's stuff that is melodic but a little raspy, but like really cool.
It's soulful.
Good description. Yeah, so I mean, I love some of the song titles. I Don't Want to Go to Jail, classic. You Should Leave Him, also very good. Like really great chorus on that one, everything. But yeah, like I don't think they got kind of the recognition at that Royal Headache got when they released High or the first record, and that's not a problem. Yeah, Dennis, where's your?
Wait, what pressing is yours? Do you have the Static Shock? Or?
No, it's the Australian one.
Yep.
Right on. Yeah. But yeah, I just love how. So something that I love about Australian bands is that it sounds like they've had to be in a pub and play for like 2 hours. And they've had to figure out how to do that without sounding like crap. And they write these songs that are just like hook filled, but also they can get into a groove and just like get into something for 3 or 4 minutes and you don't get tired of it. So like Eddy Current Suppression Ring did the same thing. Royal Headache was actually like shorter pop songs, right? But these guys, it's like kind of swampy, bluesy, like, raspy. What was the word you used, Matt?
Soulful.
Soulful. Yes.
Because both this band and Royal Headache have very distinct vocals, I think. This is not as like Royal Headache, he's like singing his heart out, it seems.
Yeah,
this is actually yeah, I can't explain what this one is, but it's still very distinct to me.
Yeah. So yeah, highly recommended, as you can see, by all of us except for Dennis and maybe Mike. But maybe you guys will have copies next week.
Fuck that band.
I'm a big Australian punk fan, so
it's just one. It's like every single song on that record is one of those like it could be a hit, and it's like it's both a bummer that they never did anything else, but also it's like they kind of just left us with a perfect record. That's cool.
Yeah, and sometimes that's really nice, you know, because a lot of times when you try to follow it up, it's pretty tough to follow up too. You know, so but maybe hey, it's been however many years, 10 years, maybe something new will come out. Yeah. But I mean, if anybody knows if they're still around or something, that'd be awesome to learn about. Like there's no info on Bandcamp or anything. I don't really know anybody.
I think they all do other bands now.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully those bands are just as good as this one.
Cool.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's new to me.
It's really good.
Sorry, Matt.
Both of you. I believe both of you.
I don't know what to do now. Like
random ball.
I know it might have to be.
We haven't listened to that in the car yet.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Well, we will be.
Yeah.
Well, I have to get on board, apparently.
Yeah.
You're going to listen to it whether you like it or not.
Yeah. Here, let's all pull it up right now online, and let's all have a listening party here on live on Analog as Heck.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, Dennis, what's your?
All right, I'm going with a small record. I, for one,
go insane.
What?
No, current.
Nothing.
I, for one, enjoy small records still. So this is a band we played with not too long ago for Minneapolis. And they're just this band Shatter.
Cool.
And it's just my kind of shit. Like I kind of honestly struggle with a a lot of the bands, not to sound too much like an old man, but just like I find that they all sound really good. And they like bands like these days have really nailed recordings and pretty much like sound perfect, you know. But I kind of struggle with like coming back to the bands because I'm like, yeah, that was good, but I don't think to listen to it again. And it's not like I'm like, oh, it's not good enough for me to come back to. I listened to it once and filed it away, you know. But this band, I just feel like there's just something else to them. It's like the songwriting. There's a lot of effort in the songwriting. The songs are like really compact and squished together, kind of like how I like writing songs as well. That's what you get, people.
It's okay. There's plenty more.
Yeah, the song is really compact, squished together, really intense. I really enjoy writing songs like that too. And there's a lot of really metallic tremolo picking.
There was like an epic feel to it that a lot like isn't as common now in hardcore, but not in like a cheesy way. But
right.
just there's like power to it.
Yeah, it doesn't have any stadium crust vibes or anything like that. It was still very raw and fast and intense. And yeah, it did. There's like some just like ripping solos, a little bit of melody, just the right amount of melody, but it's still like really fucking fast and just like something's always happening. I think you feel like, and you're just like, I don't know. There's not a dull moment, at least. Like when they played their set, it was just fantastic, and I just ate it up. That band kicks fucking ass.
Is that on a label that we will be familiar with, or?
Yeah, it's on Desolate, I believe.
Okay,
Desolate.
there you go.
That's who is in the band.
Yeah, he plays bass in the band.
Okay.
Yeah, and some other folks too from some other bands. The guitar player was in Garmon Bozia, he had told me, which is haven't heard that name in a long time. And I was like, oh, wow. Very different kind of music.
Right.
It's the cello, the band with the cello, and
yeah,
very like ethereal. I listened to that a lot back in the day. Pretty cool. And then the singer was from Cincinnati. But she just has a really perfect voice for the style too, just like very raspy and just like a lot of words, and I don't know, just perfect band for me. I don't know that it's gonna be everybody's cup of tea or like what the general populace of the punk scene thinks about them, or even they know they exist. I don't know.
Ray and I were talking at the show. They sounded like a band that would have been like really big in like the early 2000s, and I don't mean that in like a negative way or anything. They didn't sound like a band of now.
Yeah.
And it was very refreshing to see them.
Yeah, it even like could have been like, because of how raw it was, like some weird band from 1986 that just had a ripping 7-inch, you know, some like metalheads made an awesome hardcore 7-inch or something. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, it definitely doesn't sound like a band of today, but doesn't sound old either though, like in a regurgitated way. It just really cool band.
Cool.
There's a demo also. I think that's all they have right now is like a demo in that 7-inch.
Nice.
But yeah, killer.
Nice. Beautiful. I think just quickly about the listening, I know what you're talking about. I think it's like part of it's just being an adult and just not having time to like
maybe
give enough time to each record. Like you just play it and it's like, okay, I've got this other one, like, and it's just like things just get filed away and it's we don't spend like 2 weeks listening to one record like we did when we were kids or younger. It's just
right. Yeah. I don't want to blame it on the band.
No, I mean it's definitely a part of being like a working person and like having a kid.
Yeah, and
dog
and I think
too, selector.
Yeah.
Having heard a lot of stuff also, because a lot of bands are very referential as well, and like sometimes I'm like, this was really reminding me of something else. I'm gonna take this off and put that on, which is that's a me problem, I think.
Also, there's just like so many different ways to listen to music now. You have Bandcamp and then records and YouTube, and it's just like you constantly, there's so much to sort of take in these days that you can kind of get a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah, there's so many bands, so many good bands too. I mean,
it's crazy actually.
Yeah, it's rare that you'll actually like hear a band that's taken the time to record, and you're like, that's bad. I mean, that used to happen a lot. I don't feel like that happens too much to me, you know.
Right. All right, Matt, what's your first pick?
Well, we're gonna go down under. Yeah. Band Tyrannomen. They.
I've seen that one before.
Who is that?
Yeah, it's really good. Kind of garagey, but
maybe a bit soulful.
It is quite soulful. Yeah. No, enough of that joke. This is serious now.
Right.
I'm bringing back a short, sharp shock.
Oh, we haven't had one of those. Bring
another little record.
Cool.
So recently I bought like a ton of records that from like the like late 2000s, early 2010s for like really cheap. And it was a bunch of like names I remember from back then, but I didn't buy the records then. And now I thought, I'll give them a shot. And this was one that I listened to recently because I still haven't gone through all of them yet. But I heard this one and it caught my ear. It's a Boston band. I believe it's all the usual suspects of every Boston band. It's Obliteration. Anyone heard this one?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. CC's
yes. And like DFJ's on drums. It's just like it's the usual crew.
Yeah.
I'm not usually real big on like quote unquote meat and potatoes hardcore unless you like put a lot of spice on that meat and potatoes. And this one's got a lot of spice. It's the first thing that I noticed was like the vocals, because they have a lot of reverb on them, but it's this very like his voice alone is already super raspy. And because of the reverb, every vocal sounds like you have a room full of people shouting at you. So that's like the first aspect of intensity to this. And then the recording is just really heavy. It's very burly. It's super burly hardcore. I love that burl.
Burl Ives.
Buy one burl, get two burl free.
That's a good record. I used to have that.
This is the only one I've heard. I know they have a few.
Right.
But another thing is like there's a certain sometimes with like hardcore, it almost helps when people in the band aren't super good at their instruments. It gives it this intensity. But there's another type of intensity that comes when you do know what you're doing. And so everything this record like attacks. It's like a violent attack of a hardcore record.
We like it.
It's because his drumming is and the dude from Knife Fight on vocals. Well, if that is him, his voice is fucking scary on this record. It's real cool. Nice. But then the last thing I want to talk about, maybe to go in this goes in with stuff with like modern hardcore bands that this band does right that I don't think newer bands do. So a lot of newer, straightforward meat and potato hardcore bands, they do the fast part, and then they have this like mid-paced mosh part, and they always get it wrong. It always sounds to me it's like a really lazy, like, well, we have to change it up somewhat, so we'll throw in this like slower part just because like, well, a mosh part will work here. If you're gonna do that, all the Boston bands knew how to do those. They have like a certain swagger to their like mosh parts or slower parts, and the riffs aren't like a they're not bouncy. They're just like, you know, they're a mosh riff. They want to get you moving. So whenever this band like slows down the few times that they do, it's got this like, I don't know, I just keep thinking swagger. There's a swagger to any like slower part on this mixed in with the very straightforward burly attack. I don't know. It's an intense, straightforward obliterator of a hardcore record.
It is. It's good.
Yeah.
It was a treat to hear it.
Nice. I was going to approach my next pick in a totally different way, but because of that pick, I'm going to approach it in another way. I'm going to go around the back with this. It's nice, actually. It's good. It's good. Boston. There's a Boston connection.
Okay.
So all those years back, no one could have predicted that this singer, who was once in the Rival Mob and Mind Eraser and the Lovely Lads and Battle Ruins and like 100 more, would end up singing in like this British, like doomy new wave of British heavy metal. But nobody could have predicted that to happen. But I mean, you could have predicted it maybe 10 years ago when Magic Circle started, the doom band. Probably the best, well, certainly my favorite doom band of the last however many years. Those three records are amazing. That's CC, the Boston Connection again.
Love that band.
Amazing.
So
I mean, they just knew how to do it right. Talking of what you were saying about Boston bands, like Magic Circle knew how to do it right. So anyway, so the Magic Circle thing makes sense that he would end up joining this band down the road because the original singer passed away in 2015. We kind of thought they were done, but I'm talking about Brendan Radigan is what I'm talking about. But he ended up singing for this band live, and they've now put out an LP. And of course, I bought it. Here it is. Never Quite Dead.
Pagan Altar.
Pagan Altar. Yeah. Never Quite Dead. Man, I don't know. There's just, this band just knows what they're doing, you know. It's and so does Brendan. It's like when he was in Magic Circle, he had this like Aussie inflection in his voice. He kind of gets rid of it on this. You can still tell it's him, but he's approaching it in a slightly different way, but it's like undeniably him singing. But like that kind of like Aussie inflection has gone, and it's real clever, like how he did it. It's way more. My original approach was going to be like, let's go to the Shire. Well, that was how I was going to set up this record because, you know, Pagan Altar is totally from the Shire. You know, it's scarecrows and Wicker Man and witchcraft.
Yeah, would they peasant metal?
Peasant? No, slightly.
Is that different?
Peasant metal adjacent, but maybe
okay.
Living in the same village, but different part of the village. I know.
Okay.
But, you know, do we need a new Pagan Altar album in 2025? Yes. That's my answer to that.
Sounds like we do.
But I tell you what, though, it threw me off because the first song starts off with Brendan's voice, like triple tracked, like in the distance. You know what I mean? That kind of effect. And the first song is almost kind of like a High Spirits or Haunt kind of a poppy, melodic, like heavy metal song, which really threw me off the first. I was like, oh God, what's going on here? But man, it's so catchy. And once you've heard it a few times, it totally fits on the record, you know. And then the rest of the record is like what you'd expect from Pagan Altar. It's like, is it doom? Is it new wave British heavy metal? It's like kind of both of those things. And yeah, it's killer. But the back half of this record is my favorite. There's a little kind of 2-minute instrumental. Let's call it passage. Good word. Which could have come off like Led Zeppelin 3, which is a good thing in my book. It just totally, those acoustic guitars are totally from Led Zeppelin 3. And then it finishes with like a 9-minute epic, which has to be heard to be believed. And like Brendan's vocal performance was like one of the best of his career. I want to say it's incredible. So, I mean, if you like Magic Circle and you like Pagan Altar, this is kind of a no-brainer. It's just like both of those things joined together. So it's just come out on Dying Victims Records from Germany.
That label They're putting everything out.
I think they become known as a very trustworthy and reliable go-to label for metal. You know.
Yeah. Does anyone know where to buy their stuff in America, where it doesn't cost $50 to import?
I guess people are.
Yeah.
You know, it's a German label, so you know. But
Okay.
I've wondered that because also with like, I know like High Roller releases are available here somewhere, but I don't know exactly like a certain place that sells them all.
Dying Victims are not quite at the High Roller level yet, even though, I mean, you know, they're putting out Pagan Altar.
Yeah.
But, yeah. If you haven't, check it out online if you're doubtful. But I think this is a great record. If you like Magic Circle and you like Pagan Altar, it's
and if you like the Rival Mob.
Yes, and the Lovely Lads as well.
And
I didn't list every band. He was in like band Stone Dagger as well, which is like a new British heavy metal band. They had like
I love that. I guess it came out as a record because it was a tape at first.
Yes, yeah.
I want another release.
Right,
I know.
It's in the Pagan Altar now. You know, it's like
yeah.
I mean, what a great singer. You know, he can do everything. You know.
His vocals are good in like every band that he does them in. He'll do them differently, and they're not all that same metal yell. But
that's what I said about like he just adjusted his tone just very slightly, you know, compared to the Magic Circle thing. That's like not easy to do.
He's a real talent.
He's a musician, you know. It's like playing with the people you're with versus playing your thing, right? So anyway, it's really cool.
Yeah, I'm happy with this record. I think it's great. So there you go. All right, Jesse, what's your number 2?
Okay, because I love to have a connection. I got something that I think also is a sign of somebody who maybe isn't necessarily known for doing something, but then they did it and people were like, wow, interesting. Or they might have hated it. But kind of like what you're talking about with this Pagan Altar. So I was at a record fair down here last week or a couple weeks ago, and pleasantly surprised. You know, like I live in kind of a tourist town, so there's not a lot of, you know, regular shops, but 2 or 3 hours from San Francisco, so there's enough people around with enough records and stuff. And I found something that I've been looking for a long, long time. And I was really excited to get it. It is Electric Mud.
Nice.
Yeah.
Muddy Waters. Electric Mud.
Muddy Waters. Yeah. This was Muddy Waters doing, or maybe being forced to do a psych record, right? So, like, this is 1968, I think. The guy who ran Chess Records had a son who was doing another label called Cadet, or like Chess Cadet.
So
and
jazz on that label too, maybe a bit of jazz, maybe on Cadet, maybe. No. Maybe. I mean, I'm not super familiar, you know, like I kind of read a little bit up on it so I could tell a great story, of course. But he's like, you know what the kids need now? They need to understand where the real rock and roll comes from. Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf. So this is like the end of the 60s, you know, psychedelia is all in effect. And so he's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a band of like the hottest jazz musicians or like psychedelic jazz people, and I'm going to put Muddy Waters on top of it. So like this was not the first time Muddy Waters played guitar, like electric guitar, but it was the first time he had a backing band behind him and stuff. It's wild. I mean, it's a fucking amazing record. It's just a great blues man singing his soul out and just wailing on top of a psych background. So if you love High Rise, if you love, you know, like Flower Traveling Band, if you love Jimi Hendrix, you know, like all those things apply to this. But I love, like, I don't know, I'd highly recommend reading the Wikipedia page on the record. So the band Rotary Connection, I'm not super familiar with them, but they were like, I think Chicago based. They were kind of like a bunch of jobbers put together to do a psychedelic band, and they did one record on this label, and then they were the backing band for Muddy Waters. And Muddy Waters himself said like he thought the record was dog shit, but people were buying it, so he was fine with it. It's like the Howlin' Wolf record too, that like is similar take. Like the cover just says like, this is Howlin' Wolf's new record. He hates it.
we hope you don't, or something.
Yes,
You know,
I love that. I love the cover.
So good. Yeah. And it's a similar concept. It's like, let's put a bunch of, you know, psychedelic rockers behind a blues man and see what happens. The back, like, I don't know if you can see, but the song titles or the songs are in seconds versus minutes and seconds. There's like different presses and stuff, but honestly, like, this is easily my favorite gatefold.
Oh, there you go. You're practicing with the gatefold there. Oh,
come on. It's so good.
Powerful.
Like,
That's sick.
It's
Beautiful.
so good. And the music just like backs up how great that gatefold is. It's fucking killer.
What even is that guitar?
Great. Yeah, I don't even know, right?
Some kind of fucked up offset.
Yeah. But highly recommended if you just want to listen to it on YouTube and you want some good background music. This is the one, like, one of the songs, like, according to Wikipedia, Jimi Hendrix listened to it before he went on stage all the time. So that's pretty ringing endorsement for the type of guitar that's going on. It's just like standard blues songs, you know, Hoochie Coochie Man. I Just Want to Make Love to You. So, you know, good shit. But heavy, dirty, soulful. Yes.
Yeah,
very
nice. That's like been on my like mental wants list for ages, and I kind of gave up. But it can't be that hard to find like some kind of pressing of it, right? Like a late
I hope.
Japanese
I mean,
pressing, you know.
This was like a second press. Still expensive, but
Oh, really?
I was very happy to get it. Yeah, in good shape, you know, so whatever.
I think there must be like a late 70s Japanese pressing, like without obi or something like that might show up at some point.
Best of luck.
Yes.
Yeah. All the covers don't look like that, I guess.
Right.
So like there's a lot of different looks, but
man, this channel's getting bluesy. Like last week, Jerry A showed Howling Wolf.
There you go.
Jesse
got Muddy Waters.
Muddy Waters. So Dennis, what's your blues pick?
Gonna take you to Memphis. 1984.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Memphis Blues was a good year.
It's blues related.
Oh, everything's blues related.
Yeah. Had only heard one song. There's like the song of this band, and Matt probably knows what this is already, but like I saw a reissue of it. The original record's like $200 to $400, some ignorant crap like that. But so it's a high roller reissue, and I was texting Matt. I was just like, "Have you heard this record other than the song?" And he's just like, "No, just these songs." We've had conversations about it, and there's an amazing YouTube video of them playing some metal fest in Europe, and the whole crowd is singing along. It's just, you know, but it's
beautiful.
Yeah, this record, Medieval Steel. The song is like the most epic freaking song ever. I guess, I don't know, people are calling them power metal. You know, I guess that's what it is. It's kind of hard to label this kind of stuff.
It is powerful metal.
Yeah, melodic metal. Maybe if it was from England, it would be a new wave of melodic metal. But I just kind of took a chance. I hadn't really taken the time to try to dig into them. They look really freaking cool, of course. How do I do this? Yeah, there we go.
Cool. There you go. Oh, look at those lads.
Yeah.
You just know it's going to be good. You just know
proper Memphis dirtbags. And there's a giant poster.
Oh, hi, Lane.
Yes, in it. Hey, Lane. Wow. She's in the other room, I guess. Which is really funny that there's just a big poster of that. But
that cover looks like some Sega Genesis box art too, or like some logo for Golden Axe, you know? That's perfect.
Yeah, some dude drew it in geometry class or whatever.
But the gradients.
But there's only 4 songs on it.
Okay.
Side A, the 2 songs on side A kick ass. There's this other song, Warlords. It's really killer. Side B is kind of, there's like a ballad, and it's all right. But the 2 songs on side A is good enough for me to keep it. There's some other material that they had that's online, you know. There's like a later demo or something that I don't know if they ever. I think they did a later release of it, but pretty fun. And I'm just gonna tag on this, and because I got this the same day, but
nice,
not super related. But Jesse'd been trying for a while to get me into Saxon, and I found this sealed copy of it. Used to be $1 record, but
a sealed copy of
those days are over. You were too late to the arena.
Yeah, if I'd have bought this, 20 years ago, I could have got it for $1. But
Dennis, you could have come down to Marietta to see them.
I know I was going to, but Amanda didn't want to come with me. I wanted to go, and I was like, man, I don't want to go by myself. Really, I really should have went because Brian Tatler's playing guitar with them.
Yes,
and Marietta's my hometown.
They were in Osaka like a couple of weeks ago. I mean, I don't know why this was the case, but like tickets were like $160 or something.
Yeah, it was expensive in Marietta too.
But they were doing like the Wheels of Steel, the full album plus.
Oh wow!
But like 16,000 yen. Like Judas Priest was only 9,000 yen. You know, Iron Maiden wasn't even like 16,000 yen. It's like, what are they doing? You know, it's like
inflation.
Well, I know, but even Iron Maiden last year was like was about 16,000 yen, like Osaka Joe Hall. You know, this is like Iron Maiden in like a small club.
Yeah, and they were playing in a smaller place, probably, right? Yeah, in Marietta it was a small little revamped cinema.
Well, it's a like big. The place in Marietta is where like bigger acts play, but it was really expensive for Saxon.
Yeah,
it was like $80.
$70.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I guess retirement is on the horizon.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd happily.
It was them and Uriah Heep. So I don't know which one was.
That's I find it it's funny that like Uriah Heep are supporting Saxon because they were the innovators, right? And then, but it's only Mick Box, and I love Uriah Heep. We could go on. Don't get me started on Uriah Heep. Let's move on. All right. Nice. I love High Roller. Another shout out to High Roller. If I see anything, but not anything, but like a lot of things, I'm like, man, High Roller. He doesn't mess about. He only does the good stuff for the most part. So.
Yeah, you feel it's going to be quality.
You feel safe.
It's not going to be like a early Back in Black reissue with a fuzzy cover, and I felt pretty good, even though I wasn't sure what I was going to get with that medieval stuff.
Yeah, I'm a
quality.
I'm a big fan of that.
Not the FOAD of the metal world.
No.
Hey.
Matt, what's your next pick? FOAD?
All right. Well, see, there's a label from Italy that I'm a big fan of. So. But I'm not going there yet.
They're expensive now. Grim Reaper records are not cheap anymore either.
Really?
Yeah, that's wild.
30.
They are here.
$50 over here.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Dang. I bought those all for like $5, I think.
All right, go ahead. Off you go.
We're sticking with metal here.
Okay, cool, nice.
Dennis, you picked a real heavy hitter there. I mean, Medieval Steel is one of the greatest songs, and not just metal, but I'll say music. But not every album can be some Michelin star rated meal. Sometimes you just got to reach into the cabinet, get yourself some rock snacks.
Keep talking. Keep talking.
I know what you're reaching for.
Wow, is that a dragon and the band members on the front?
Let's take a look at the cover here. You got some heavy metal warriors on horseback facing down a dragon. But then to make it a little less dramatic, here's the bands themselves.
So German or Russian?
That's a classic.
This is not an original. This is a reissue.
Okay.
By Buried by Time and Dust.
Oh, nice. We did Pagan Altar too.
Yeah. There was a time I was buying everything that label was doing, and then I sold like all of my metal records, and I've been trying to buy them back, and I found this one at a store in Cincinnati. It's like a 3-way compilation. I wouldn't call it a split really, because it'll be like one band and then the next band. The 3 bands are Samurai, Saracen, and Hollow Ground.
Yes.
And I think only Hollow Ground has like other records. The other 2 bands, this is it.
Saracen
do they?
have, like, LPs out, yeah.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
Well then, now on this, in the reissue, it's the gatefold. Let me open this, where it has like liner notes. Each of the band talks about their experience in the recording. Nice. And it's funny, where Hollow Ground and Saracen, it's very charming. They talk about what a fun day it was to go record, and
nice.
How fun it is to be in a band. Samurai has the most bitter, just liner note, just about the manager really lied to us and we never got to achieve our dreams.
Love those. Love those.
There we go. Is that an original one?
Yeah.
Okay, you got the Guardian one.
Yes, Guardian Records. And hey, just while we're on the subject, don't forget Roxcalibur.
Right. that's one I don't have.
Yeah. Black Rose, Battle Axe, Marauder, Brands Hatch, Satan is on this one.
Oh. Nice. Mike, on this one, do you have a favorite band on the Rock Snacks compilation?
Probably Saracen. They're like the most melodic.
Yeah. They have the
Brown is good too, though. It's hard to choose.
I love the Samurai tracks. I think Samurai is the most like high energy rockin' one. Right. Saracen has definitely the most amateur vocals out of any of them. It's kind of a squeaky yelp when he tries to do the high notes. But Samurai starts off this comp with the song "Die or Deliver," and it's this real powerful chorus like "Die or Deliver." Like, it's real fist pumper. But it's Mike. You've talked about how like just anything within the world of like new wave of British heavy metal.
I'm not fussy. Yeah. Give me everything.
Right, and because I feel I always feel weird calling it a genre because it's not really a genre, but we'll call it one tonight.
Styles within that, it's just it's a movement. That's what it was.
It's a movement.
Yeah.
But like even the bad stuff in that is like there's a charm to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Like the amateur's quality like makes it good. Yeah. This is a little above that. But right. These bands can deliver, die or deliver. But I don't know. There's a real charm to this record. Yeah, like all the songs are good. It's just and reading about like because they all just went in, did all of their stuff in one day. It was like mixed in a day. So just metal bands having a good time, going to record.
DIY.
For one day.
Yeah. It's and something about like just having almost each band has like an EP's worth of songs on this thing. You get basically three really good heavy metal EPs on this record with just wonderful cover art. Can't go wrong with some Rock Snacks.
That's cool they reissued it. That's something that deserved a reissue, you know. Absolutely.
Yeah. But it's like a weird one to reissue. Like it's not like I don't think it's a talked about classic.
It is. If like
is it
like super nerdy like new wave of British heavy metal collectors, it's kind of considered a bit of a classic.
I guess Buried by Time and Dust does some real like deep dive. They one record that I had and I sold and I wanted to talk about it since the first time I was on here. They reissued a record by the band Sherwood, who still rank as the wimpiest metal band I've ever heard. And I'm still searching for a wimpier band.
Well, I love when you were on that kick, you'd just be texting all kinds of people. I'd get a text from you at like 11 p.m. Like, what's the wimpiest metal band you can think of? Then you'd come back with, definitely not wimpier than Sherwood.
You sent me Damascus, which it wasn't wimpy. That intro was, but
Damascus
there was power.
Damascus.
Yeah, they're a little too on it.
Well, that's the thing about Sherwood. It's super wimpy, but I like it.
Yeah. AOR.
But that's the thing. It's not quite.
Not quite.
It's this.
Yes. It's
very
like
certain.
It's like heavy petting.
It's just. I don't know, Mike. Have you heard Sherwood?
No, I haven't had the pleasure.
Oh.
Send me a link.
I will.
Also, I'm hoping that they'll do this one at some point too. Pure Overkill, which is another Guardian Records and Tapes thing with Spartan Warrior, which is another one of my favorites. But, that's a great pick. It's good to see it's being reissued. You know.
Yeah, it was a while ago. It's not like in print now, but
okay. All right,
it's a wrap.
Cool. I just said Satan. Let's focus in on Satan.
All right.
Again.
A couple of years ago, it was great. Dennis should have come.
Okay, so first, let's take a few seconds to sort of savor the majesty, if you will, of like Satan. You know, like all those records. You know, I mean, some a little bit better than others. The newest one, it's still good, but the mind-blowing thing about all this like Satan stuff is that while this was going on, Russ Tippins had another band, and this is a Chris Corey like recommendation, and I've been looking for this since it came out in 2019 it came out, and I finally found a copy over here like a couple of weeks ago. This is a 10 out of 10 record. Like Chris Corey knows his stuff. It's Russ Tippins' other band that they have 2 records, 2 LPs, and 1 like released 7-inch. Of course, let's go back to the Shire for this one. This is the most Shirey of all of it. Look at that, Tanith. In Another Time. Oh my God! It's like take Satan, put him in the woods in a little village. Have him working. He's a blacksmith, you know.
A tinker.
Yes. It's basically Satan, because you know he's a songwriter, so you can't avoid. And he's the guitar player, so imagine Satan, but doing like 70s like hard rock. You know, Thin Lizzy, Oyster Cult. But like every song is like Satan quality of like songwriting. Like warm analog production, and the rest of the band is from Brooklyn, and you know, rest from the UK. But man, this is probably my most played record of recent times, and dual vocal. So it's like, hey, look at this. They're in the woods, of course they are.
Yeah,
Russ Tippins, but really the secret weapon of this band is Cindy Maynard. Like she plays bass and sings, so it's like Russ Tippins and Cindy Maynard like trade off vocals, and she's just got this amazing like 70s like folky voice. It just works so well with the music. I mean, if you like 70s heavy rock, if you like Satan, this is like a no-brainer. I mean, who doesn't like Satan?
Winning combination.
Look at that artwork. Everything about it's amazing. It's recorded and mixed 100% analog. I'm not a technical person, so I don't actually know what that means, but it sounds good, and it does. It sounds good when you read it, but it sounds amazing. It's like you're listening to like a Wishbone Ash record, you know.
That's what matters.
You know, it's like that warm. You're in the room with the music. It's one of those, you know.
When was this actually?
This one came out in 2019. I think it's on Metal Blade as well. It's on Metal Blade Records. But I just couldn't find a copy at all over here. It's one of those, but. Yeah, they have a second LP too, which I haven't heard, but I'm excited to hear that one too.
Wow, that sounds great.
It's phenomenal. I just can't, you know.
Get a bowl of clam chowder, get your pipe out, get under a weighted blanket of some kind.
Smoke the long bottom leaf.
Oh, okay, Daniel's heard it. Yeah, I can't wait to hear the second album too. But you're just like, you'll start smiling. So, oh man, this is just like. It's just so nice to listen to. It's like so warm and rustic and beautiful, and her vocals are amazing. Just amazing.
Sick.
Yeah. Tanith. Metal Blade Records. So it should be. You would think it would be easy to get, but it took me like 5 years to track this down over here.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never heard.
It's got a very striking cover.
Yeah. It's like the warrior on the edge of time. You know.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely bands need to go back to just having a cool painting as their cover.
Yeah,
Like,
or just a nice photograph, you know.
I mean, sure, but a painting would be great.
I know analog means, but I don't know what like 100% like analog recording process. I don't know what that means.
A lot of times you like will record onto 2-inch tape, and then it gets dumped into a computer for more mixing and vocals and more. So they're like, it's pretty hard to keep it completely analog at this point. It's really pretty difficult to do that.
Right.
So that's pretty cool and a big pain in the ass.
And expensive and stupid and
that too, yeah.
Great when it works out.
That's what's his name from the head? Billy Childish has his like 100% analog studio in London, right? Toe Rack Studios. So a lot of bands go. I think Electric Wizard recorded there.
Yeah, because even when you're going to get it mastered, like you gotta mail the fucking tape. You can't.
Now that we don't know what happened after that, right?
Right, yeah, like with plating and stuff. A lot of times it's just like they toss it in a computer and boom,
there you go.
You know,
Gotcha.
So yeah. But hey, you know, I'm sure Electric Wizard, they went the right route. They didn't skip any steps.
Yeah, it's interesting.
You gotta be a total punisher to and micromanage every little step.
You have to press your own records, basically, right?
Yeah. Right.
It's cool.
All right, Jesse, what's your
man? I feel like I'm gonna get us off track. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I'm done with the Shire. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm not metal. I'm done with the.
No, for the rest of the night, we're staying in the Shire.
No, man, dang. Well, this one doesn't really fit with what we've been going for, but it is something that I've been listening to recently. So,
all right.
I've been trying to get, I brought up this record to a bunch of different people recently, and everybody's like, I don't know what that is. I've never heard that. And like, it's a Dollar Bin Ripper, maybe. It's definitely a Dollar Bin record. If it's a Ripper or not, that's kind of up to you. But it's this.
Oh,
the Degenerics.
Ripping, Raging.
Erica?
Yes.
You like it?
That's been on my kind of like, I'm going to show this record someday list.
Yeah. Not many people like, I don't know, like from my friend group or whatever, not many people seem to know who the Degenerics were or like remember this record. Maybe because there was a ton of other stuff that was coming out at the time. But like, I can remember I probably bought this like at a Tear It Up Down in Flames tour show in Virginia somewhere, like at the Greenhouse, when the guy who does Dead Alive Records, who was also, I don't think he was in either of those bands, but he was an integral part of New Jersey hardcore, and like they would tour in the East Coast and stuff. So I got to see him in DC. I picked this up. It's from like 2000. So for me, that was like, I was just kind of starting to get into more independent punk and hardcore stuff. I was only 20 years old at that point. What I liked about it at the time was like the vocals sounded like Operation Ivy. That was great. The music was thrashy hardcore, you know. Now that I've listened to it like 25 years later, it's a really great experience to be like, man, these guys love Poison Idea. Like the musicianship is fucking great. Every song is super tight. Great guitar solos, awesome rhythm and everything. Like they also end side A with a dub song. I mean, the last time I heard that was on the Gun record that just came out. Like they do a dub song too, but it's like nobody does that. That's like nobody would have done something that stupid at this point, but these guys did. And I don't know. I feel like you see this everywhere, maybe just on the East Coast.
Yeah, that was definitely like a 300 yen, like Disc Union thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is kind of a recurring sub theme. It's all these records that are now like, 25 years old. They're kind of old enough where they're kind of starting to be considered like old classics, like almost, like
could be, right? Yeah. But it's just like, super fast hardcore. I don't think many of them have done many other bands, from what I can tell or anything. So thank you for making this record, you know? And like they did a couple other 7 inches maybe in like a tape or something, but this is the only thing I've heard, and I'm happy with just having heard this. So that's fucking cool. Yeah, I mean, like the cover art is pretty bad.
Yeah, it's not great.
Like if you saw this, you'd be like, okay, I don't need it.
It looks like a garage rock record to me for some reason. I don't know. It's about the logo, I think. Their logo.
Yeah, maybe like the title too, you know, is kind of like New Bomb Turksy or something. Like it could be
have like garage punk flavor to it. Looks like
I mean like the design.
Yeah,
definitely not the sound.
No.
But yeah, it's fucking cool. And like, I mean, super socially conscious lyrics and everything, you know, for the time. So for me as a baby punk, I was like, wow, maybe I should worry about corporate surveillance. No. So I don't know. I like it. So
nice. That's so
I need to revisit that.
Yeah, I like that copy. It's not the color version, it's just the plain old black and white. Okay. So whatever.
They were on Don Giovanni Records.
Wow. Yeah, who did a ton of stuff. And like Dead Alive Records also did a ton.
Big Eyes, we talked about them before. They were on that label too, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So it's just like, maybe like you said, a forgotten point of early 2000s thrash or whatever. There's just so many bands at that time. Some of them stuck, some of them didn't.
Cool. I need to revisit that.
Yeah.
It's a rage. All right. Dennis, what's your...
All right. This is kind of a revisit record too. There was just a lot coming out at this time. This came out in 2012, I think. Again. Record.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Guy from Break the Records band, right?
What's that?
You?
Guy, it's the guy who does Break the Records.
Yeah.
It's his band, right? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Yokohama band, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, saw them when I came over with Gas Mask Terror because I believe they played that Yokohama festival, and they were just incredible live, so tight and fast. Kind of have a little bit of a fastcore-ish, American-ish vibe, but not really. They don't go too far into it. It's still pretty Japanese-sounding, ripping solos, of course. The production suffers a little bit on it, you know, that it starts off and the drums just sound insane and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you know, because but your ears kind of get used to it and it just kicks ass.
Wasn't there something with that LP where there was like a pressing of it that sounds really bad and then they repressed it and it was good?
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't heard the original, and this is the second pressing that was supposed to sound better. Yeah, even on Discogs, I think like a band member went on there and made a comment like it says like very important. First pressing sucks, second pressing good. But
is that a Japanese vinyl pressing? Is that on Break the Records? Or is it like on a European label or American?
No, it's like
some European label.
European, way back when.
Okay.
Well, there you go. I mean, sorry.
They did the vinyl, and I think the Japanese pressing was just a CD. I think probably.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
But your ears acclimate to it eventually, and then you're like, no, this kicks ass. It's really good, just tight, fast, good stuff. That kind of Japanese hardcore that a lot of people like. It's just
very like Yokohama.
Yeah, I think so, because that's like Systematic Death Zone too, right? Yeah, very
Yokosuka, Yokohama.
Forward.
More like thrashy, like say, like more like Deadless Mass and Mad Conflux and all those bands, you know.
And the first time I heard Think Again, it was one of those bands that I was like, this is like so intense. It was like exhausting. Like it was.
Yeah.
And kind of you hear the drummer, you're like, how does he do this without just exploding?
Right, and that snare drum's so damn loud, not like Saint Anger level, but like almost like it's just like and you're just like, you are tired at the end of it.
Okay, it's one of those. Okay, but you know, he's in Systematic Death now. You know, the guy,
right?
He has been for some time, right? The the main guy.
Like since at least the mid 2010s.
Yeah.
18s, whatever.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. I mean, like Mike, they don't really play Osaka a lot. Like we only saw them on tours and stuff like that. And even then it was like supporting other bands. So I don't know. Like for me, that's like a band I don't know if I've ever heard Think Again consciously.
I've seen them. I've definitely seen them. I think.
Okay. I think
I don't think they came to the States, did they? They ever come to the States?
I don't think so.
Well,
Yeah. Like I mean they toured in support of like Sotatila from Finland when they played.
Who we talked about in my first pick, right?
Yeah. And like I think that was twice too. Not just like I think both their tours in Japan they played with them.
Okay.
And I mean, Ryu does so much stuff.
Yeah,
like,
he's kind of like the new HG Fact in a way, kind of, kind of. Not quite on that level, but it's the closest you're gonna get, right? So,
yeah.
Robert, I think the first pressing's like a brownish color, and the second one is like either black and white or gold.
Okay. Gotcha. Good. That's a good pick. Nice.
Yeah, interesting pick.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like it held up.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Cool. All right, Matt.
Okay.
You're up.
Blues time.
Blues time.
Well, we're gonna stay in Japan.
Are we really?
Yes. Some
cool.
Some Japanese blues. This is a newer release. I just got it in the mail the other day. It's put out by General Speech. It is not the Dance Macabre record. It's a band I had never even heard of, but I just buy anything that Tom puts out. So,
is it what? Oh, Excrement.
Excrement? Okay.
What a name.
Yeah, I know. Charming name. So, I think in his description, it was just like, it was like Sapporo hardcore, sounds like 80s something. And that was the description. I knew nothing about. I think it's like a compilation of all their stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's as much as I know, because this and this is all the info you'll get. There is no insert. It is just the record.
Boo.
Come on. We need a little info. This is bare bones.
I mean, I do know that like it's kind of people have realized that like Sapporo had a pretty crazy like noise core kind of a scene with of kind of very obscure like Warsaw and FUP and who are on the
but this is I think this is from like the mid 2000s or something. Isn't it?
Really? Okay.
The only stuff I could find was like a split tape that came out in like 2006.
Okay.
Maybe this is a case where he's presented us this, and it's up to us to find out the rest.
We need some information in it.
A little bit. But enough about that. I'm done complaining because.
Yes, keep positive.
This is one of those cases where sometimes you hear a band that they're not reinventing the wheel by any means. But if you're in the mood for a certain type of music, like in this case, if you want to hear stuff in the sort of Confuse or Guy kind of like vein, like this, it's really well done because it has what I think is lacking in a lot of bands that try that. There's a real like atmosphere of violence to it. It's not bouncy. There's no fun sounding riffs. There's a really, because this style of music, I think the bass really it does all any melody that there is, but the bass tone on it is so loud and big and ugly, and the vocals are this one note raspy scream that's in the background, but all of it works for it's by the numbers, this style, but everything is done like the right way. and it all comes together to. And I guess the bands from that scene that really are good at that. Because what was that? Is that band Napalm? Were they from that area?
That's another Sapporo band. Yeah.
They had that same just sort of violent sound to them, where there's no fun pogo to this. It's just like it's just violent, noisy hardcore. The only time this gets somewhat bouncy is there's a Laughing Nose cover at the end.
Is there really? Interesting.
Yes.
Song.
What release is it from? I don't know. There's no insert in this to tell us anything.
It seems like people are quite excited about that. People are into that brain drill, like Sapporo or Kyushu. Like you're saying, people are excited that that's kind of come out. People who are.
I mean, I never heard of it until he put this out.
Right.
And because I was like surprised even to find out it was a band from like the mid 2000s. If they are,
I did think it was an 80s band. Actually, I've got to be honest with you. So that's interesting.
Maybe they are. And they just had some very late releases.
Yeah.
Because I mean, here I'll show you all the info on it. There you go.
Oh, the Laughing Nose cover is Perdition. There you go. It says right at the bottom. There you go.
Yes. And their picture of the band.
Yeah. I mean, I think with a lot of those bands, like they didn't set out to necessarily sound like Confuse or Guy or anything like that. They just wanted to be loud.
Well, that's a really that's a lazy comparison for me, but it's the most like I don't know what else to really.
Right, but then there's a lot of other bands, like maybe the ones you're saying, like the bands that tried to sound like that, they were trying to sound like Confuse and Guy, and like they just picked the wrong parts, or they didn't. Yeah. They weren't doing something original, which leads to it sounding like, it's not as fun, it's not as crazy, it's not as exciting or whatever.
Yeah, but like what I mentioned before, like Napalm or some of those Sapporo bands, it's that sound. It's that fast, like 1-2-1-2 kind of hardcore, but everything's so dense and noisy, and like I'm gonna keep using the word, but it's violent sounding. It's a violent party. But I
wonder like where the recordings were, if they're like from a practice studio or from a live show or something. Like,
well, the recording, it's not bad. It's not like a put a microphone in the middle of the room kind of recording. Like
I think isn't it a demo tape or tapes? I think that's what they are.
Yeah, I think it's really noisy, but it doesn't sound like shit. It's just very. I don't know. I was impressed. I was expecting to be like, okay, that's cool for what that is. But I was like, wow, they did this really well. When I want to hear this kind of stuff now, I have a record to go pick out.
That's great.
Cool. Nice.
So if you like that stuff, I'd recommend this.
Doesn't sound like excrement.
No, it doesn't sound like excrement. It sounds like excrement.
Nice. I'm going to switch my order up and stay in Japan. How about that? I've given myself a bit of a task for my life. I should have done these first before the beers had kicked in, but here we are. Like my last two picks, I've given myself a bit of a task, but let's soldier on. So the last time that I showed a record that in this style, I kind of got sort of tomatoes thrown at me a little bit from the other guest, but very good natured tomatoes. I'm talking about like contemporary Japanese shoegaze. Quite niche sort of thing to be into.
Were people mad at you for that?
Not mad, but just like I kind of deserved it, I suppose. But the only way to come back from that is to show more of it.
Yeah, that'll show them.
Double down.
I love the okay. So the band I showed before is My Dead Girlfriend. I showed their record. This band is溶けない名前.溶けない名前, which I translated as a name that never melts. I don't know if Jesse has a better translation.
Yeah.
A name that never melts. That was kind of the best sounding translation I could think of.
Yeah.
They're from Nagoya. This is their like an older CD thing that's just been put out on vinyl for the first time. before the time machine breaks, and they've gone with this imagery on all of their records. I don't know why. It does give it a certain vibe, let's say, with the schoolgirl model and everything. But here we are. You know, that's what they've gone with. It doesn't match the music. Like they have this kind of artwork on all of their albums, like all of them. Interesting choice. Not mine, theirs. So, you know, they're from Nagoya. And just like My Dead Girlfriend, I followed them on Instagram to sort of check out, you know, who do they play with? Where do they play? Are they kind of part of any of the punk scenes that we're familiar with? You know what I mean? It's like, you know, have they played with this band or that band? And the answer to that was no. Like they've played at like a couple of live houses that we would know, but apart from that, they're not in any of the sort of punk scenes that we're familiar with. But that's fine. That's totally okay. But you're asking me you want to know what it sounds like, don't you?
Tell us. What does it sound like?
Japanese shoegaze?
Well, yes.
I got my tomatoes ready.
I've got a good way. I figured out a good way of describing this. It's quite clever, actually. I thought so. Maybe it's not so clever. But Nagoya, let's focus in on Zero Fiction, who I've talked about before. I think Jesse probably knows.
Yeah, I know Zero Fiction.
Zero Fiction.
Yeah.
So Zero Fiction basically mix like 80s J-pop with kind of melodic punk. That's kind of what they do. And sometimes the J-pop influence is kind of more prominent than the punk, where it's almost completely Jesse, you're not sure about that?
I mean, well, there was that. Wasn't the first single just like post-punk?
Yeah, but like these like full lengths, it's so. It's like there's auto tune on the.
I haven't really.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's auto tune on the vocals. They get like more and more J-poppy as they kind of go through the. So if you think that like Zero Fiction is doing like 80s J-pop mixed with like pop punk, this band does 80s J-pop like mixed with shoegaze. So you get like the cutesy Japanese female vocals with these fucking super noisy like Jesus and Mary chain like guitars like coming in and out of the mix. It's pretty interesting stuff. Like 47-year-old me, 37-year-old me would have hated this, but 57, 58-year-old me, I'm 58. I dig it. I know it's fun to listen to because you're sort of listening to it. It's like, oh, this melody line reminds me of a song that I've seen in a commercial or on the radio, and I don't know who sang it, you know. And it's just got that very like Japanese. If you've been to Japan, you'll know what I'm talking about. You just hear these like melodies everywhere, like in commercials, and like it's not the same as Western pop music. The melodies that they use, and so you put that on top of like these super fuzzed out like shoegaze guitars and like super like thick heavy bass. It's pretty interesting combination. And
I know you remember like the melodies and stuff because there's like been some like Japanese sort of newer young like indie bands that I can't remember some of their names, but I'll just go down the rabbit hole and listen to some of them. But I like them a lot more than bands I would like from here because there's a completely different types of melodies that they use.
It's different. That's not about it. And it's like what I've said that when I talked about My Dead Girlfriend, I kept talking about J-pop. But today I was thinking, what do I mean by J-pop? You know, I don't even. It's like really.
Yeah, you're right. It's very different. Yeah,
I'm not talking about like AKB48. I'm talking more about like 80s and 90s. Maybe like one female singer with like a backing band of like session musicians. You know, it's more like
basically 80s and 90s at this point, Mike.
Yeah, I dig this stuff, but you know, interesting kind of artwork or photo choices. So
like, are the vocals laid on top or do they kind of filter through?
Yeah, so the vocals sit on top, but also like one of the guys in the band, he sings in the lower register sometimes, and it kind of works really well. Yeah, they have like tons of videos. They have like promo videos for like 10 of their songs. They're all on YouTube, so just copy and paste my description when I put it in the video thing, and you can. They use like this imagery in their videos too. This kind of like schoolgirl in the woods and being chased by a human and all this kind of stuff. But
schoolgirl in the Shire.
Yeah. It's a kind of tough pick, but hey, I've been listening to it. No, I know Daniel's a fan. I think it was Daniel actually who kind of recommended this band to me. So
I won't throw tomatoes. I got no problem with shoegaze, and I don't have a problem with Japanese shoegaze either.
Me neither. But
keep my tomatoes.
It was just a funny kind of sub theme. What's your next Japanese shoegaze pick? All that kind of thing. All right, where are we? Jesse, it's your next.
Yeah. Yeah, my Japanese shoegaze is from the early 2000s. No, but I'll stay in Japan.
Wow, that's 4 in a row.
Yeah, well, I had to complete the cycle, and then Dennis can start a new theme.
Yeah.
So yeah, that record fair I went to, there was another dude who's like a pretty cool DJ here. He had a box of stuff, and there was some stuff I'm like, whoa, this is something that I've always had on CD. Like I bought in the late 90s, I think, like again, when I was first starting to venture out into the wilds on my own. I love this. I never had a record. I think I can buy this, you know? And this isn't my pick, but this is like a link to my pick.
Oh, nice.
So if this looks familiar.
Oh, there he is.
So Guitar Wolf, Jet Generation, picked this up at the show. This was like, you know, my intro to Guitar Wolf in 1999 or 2000, whenever it came out. And yeah, it's fucking crazy. If you've never heard like, you know, insanely blasted out rock and roll before, it was very interesting. But that's not my pick. I'm doing a mic.
No.
Instead, buying that made me think, you know what I really want to listen to is Wolf Rock. So
is that the first LP or second?
I think it's the second, maybe.
Okay.
It is like the first Goner release, Goner record from Memphis. Yeah, so Back to the Blues. Yeah, this is, I don't know, when I listen to this, and I don't know who I've described it to like this, or if I've only thought about it in my mind while I've listened to it, but like, imagine it's a hot summer day, you're getting ready to go to a show that night or something, but you like stumble into a bar to relieve your hangover. It's stinky, like you get the coldest beer you can, and you're just kind of sitting there in the dark somewhere waiting to like see a show at 7 or 8 or 9 or whatever. But like you hear the bands practicing or like sound checking in the stage room. That's the recording quality of this, is like recorded behind a door.
Yeah.
But it's so fucking good. It's just like the dirtiest, nastiest surf music played by a bunch of just like outer space idiots. So yeah, this LP was from before the movie. So I think like, yeah, Wild Zero came out like 2000 maybe, 2001 I think, the movie with Guitar Wolf in it. SDS were in it too? Oh, I had no idea.
Movie? I think they were, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I remember when I got a copy of that movie in the early 2000s, it was like, I showed it to everybody. It was my world. It was great. So this one, like, you can kind of see an Amoeba price tag. So I picked this up at Amoeba at some point on some trip. $5, $6. It's just so good. I mean, it's just like being drunk and listening to like surf music from behind a door that's just overly distorted and crazy, played by a bunch of people who have only heard like 2 Link Ray songs and 1 Ventures record over and over their entire life, and they just want to play it and play it and play it, but like combine it with rock and roll. It's so good. You know, the later stuff, the later Guitar Wolf, of course, you know, the years have changed them for sure. R.I.P. Billy, Bass Wolf and everything. Like this record, when I listened to it recently, it made me think of Teen Generate so much. It sounds like kind of the, not like evil twin version of Teen Generate, but just like the successful version of Teen Generate.
Right.
It's like, it's just 60s rock and roll with amazing guitar solos that's completely blown out. But for some reason, they did it and they got on like major record labels and had a movie made. And Fifi and Fink, like they were happy to just play in bands and do their thing. But it's like they run so simultaneously. It's wild.
I think Guitar Wolf can probably claim the crown of like worst stroke best sounding record on Sony Records ever. Like ever.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing that Sony just put it out. It's wild that they did that, actually. It's
yeah. Like, I'm sure if it was actually played for some 60-year-old Japanese man, he was like, "Nani kore?" You know, but somebody told him, like, do it.
They probably know the department, right? Department of Wolves or whatever.
So yeah, I mean, as big as they are, those first records still, they're so fucking good, and like not original at all, just complete copies of like rock and blues and surf, but done in such a way,
you know, the next level.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dennis, what's your next pick?
I haven't listened to Guitar Wolf that much. I don't know why. I think he's cool, but this is kind of another major label thing. This is a weird band. I hope I didn't talk about this before. I didn't look at your list too closely, but this was on Geffen Records, and it's like this. I guess it's power pop. It's almost played too well to be power pop. I don't know, but this band, The Like, this is their second album.
Look at that.
Sounds so freaking good. This was recorded analog, I believe, actually, too. I don't know that they did the whole stayed in analog thing, but like it was recorded on tape and just sounds really freaking good. And this is their second album. The first album's kind of different. It's kind of like an indie rock thing. Right. Not really my thing, but this is like more like poppy and kind of like, I don't know, it's just played really well, and just the guitars are like nice and like jangly, but it's like big sounding. The drums sound really nice. It's really like a live sounding recording, but I don't know, it's like, I don't know, the YouTube algorithm served this band to me.
Really?
It worked.
Wow.
And I just got really into them. I don't know. Yeah, it's just like for
Is
women.
It sort of like that garage, you know, like 60s garage pop, like
kind of,
or something like that?
Along those lines. Played really well. All the songs are different though. It's not like that Alvilda record. I just been playing the shit out of that thing. But those are all like, it's more on the punk side, and all the songs are kind of in the same vein. These are all like a little different. And yeah, there's some songs that sound kind of evil, some that are more melodic, but yeah, it's just they're very like, you know, normal looking people. I don't know what connection they even have to the punk world, if any at all, but it's just such a damn good record, and I listen to this a lot. It's just
I'm intrigued. It looks in your description. Sounds right up my alley.
Freaking cool.
The Like, Release Me.
Yeah. They disbanded a good. I think this came out in 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, they're from LA. And funny you mentioned Knife Fight before. Someone mentioned Knife Fight, but I remember one of their members told me they practiced near them one time. I was kind of talking about this record on a message board.
Wow.
He's like, "Oh yeah, we practiced next to them."
Wow. I want to hear that. It looks. I've been listening.
I think you might like it. Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot. Also, like you got me into the Donnas as well. That's you did. I've been picking up all their records as well.
Nice. Yeah, I saw Solid Gold got reissued. That's a really killer one. I picked that one up too. That's the one after the one that I did or whatever. Yeah. Donnas are so damn good.
Great.
Yeah. All eras, really. I mean, the Ramones stuff and then the rock stuff.
Yeah. Great stuff.
So good.
All right. Matt, just in time for you.
I'm sorry for stepping out. That was rude of me. Well, I'm kind of stuck here because my fourth pick was going to be a certain Australian band that Jesse decided to swipe on me. So now I'm like, do I pick what was going to be my fifth, or do I just go find something real quick.
Oh,
Find something.
Lane,
I'm going to find something.
Yeah, or
Right.
call a
I got
friend.
to step away again.
I thought that's what you were doing when you stepped away. Was find
Bring Lane in. She gets to pick it.
I mean, can we like pass records on this way or something? Here's something.
This should be interesting.
Yeah, he can take one of the ones I was gonna do.
Yeah, I had a bunch of
Oh.
separates.
Hey, okay, here we go.
I got one.
Nice.
Another new record, like brand new.
Wow.
Oh.
I haven't listened to this enough to really speak on it, but
Here you go.
here we go. This was a record that was been a long time coming. I think it's been since 2013 since their last LP came out.
Ooh.
And they just had a new one come out. It's Iron Lung.
Oh.
Adapting Crawling. If you've heard Iron Lung, you've heard this record.
Okay.
It's tough for me to say because it's one of those where like I've been waiting for this, and I don't want to say I was disappointed on the first listen, but it was like the A side was so good. It was like everything I wanted to hear. It was like took their sound and added enough sort of weirdness to it that just, I don't know, it really stood out. And then by the end of the B side, I was like, huh, they go to that part a lot. I don't know. they have a certain thing they do that they do a lot on this record. But I also it was like, I got back from work and listened to this immediately. And I think it was one of those just like, get it out of the way. Like, all right, it's time to listen to it. I feel like I need to listen to it more and give it more of a listen. But at the same time, it's better than most new things I hear now.
Okay.
So I hold this band to a very, very high standard.
Yeah.
And at least the A side of this record meets that. Them and a band that you brought up a while ago on here, Mike, Brain Tourniquet.
Oh, yeah. God, yeah.
I think them and Brain Tourniquet are the only two like power violence bands right now that I want to listen to. And I feel like Brain Tourniquet actually does more of the weird things, for lack of a better term.
I mean, that's not my kind of music at all, but I love that Brain Tourniquet record. The way they go super weird with that, the bass solo, and like extending the song for like 10
yeah, they just it's where and same with Iron Lung, where they're so talented that they can afford to do the kind of weird things. They can make it work. And I kind of wish that like they did more of that on here, but also at the same time, if it's just going to be like crushing, brutality, it definitely delivers in that. There's no lack of that. It's really good, but I was over a decade and like I'd sort of built up this thing in my head, but maybe on another listen, now that I know what it's going to be like, I'll be like, shit, that's a really good record. Because as of right now, it's good. It's a very good record. I want it to be like phenomenal.
Maybe you need a bit more time to sort of sit with it. Maybe.
Yeah. So I haven't listened to Iron Lung since like Life, Iron Lung, Death, or like the Lana DeGala split. Like,
oh wow, okay.
I love that shit. I think I skipped many years. Is it still just like samples of medical equipment noises and then power violence, or is it something different now?
No, I don't know what because by now, like the past two LPs, they have such a distinct sound that is them.
That's cool.
I can't really describe it unless you've heard it, but
do your best.
They do I don't know, the thing that they do a lot on this record, and they really get into the sort of just heavy dirge kind of parts now.
Okay.
But they're really good at them.
Yeah.
And they have a certain one they do on this. It's like a theme or something throughout that they go back
That'd be
to.
cool if that's the case. Yeah.
Yeah.
Concept-y.
That's the thing. I feel like I'm talking negatively about this record, but like I was talking to my friend about it. We were both like, it is good. It's like it's better than most things we're hearing right now. It's just we hold them to a much higher standard, I think.
Right.
But
that's cool. I mean, yeah, if you're that
I'm
good,
still gonna recommend it to anyone if you like fast, brutal music. I think you don't have to be a Power Violence fan to like, especially current Iron Lung stuff. It's its own sort of genre by now.
That's cool.
Cool.
That makes
They
me
still play live much, or?
Oh yeah, they're like touring all over the world this year.
Nice.
Because I saw them in Pittsburgh 2 years ago now with Brain Tourniquet, and that was a good show.
Yeah, I think there was just a big Iron Lung Records Fest. I assume they played
Yeah, they just did a whole fest. That band is busy as hell.
Yeah. Was it just
Live
Jensen
band.
basically, like doing everything, you know?
What do you mean? Like,
I mean, I thought that was his label, and like he pretty much ran everything. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the band is two of them, but
Right.
it's not just him.
The label is him. Right?
The label.
Yeah.
I guess that is just him. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, thank goodness somebody's doing it. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. Matt, did you see them when they played the Legion in Columbus?
No.
Great live band, of course, but there's like a funny like legend about that show when they played Columbus. I mean, it was, what was it, 15 years ago or 10 years ago at this point, but at that time they used to do a lot of like funny joking and like harassing the crowd and stuff.
But they still do that.
Yeah, okay. And then Tumor Feast played, and kind of the vibe in Columbus was kind of similar at that time. So the crowd was kind of like giving it back to them. And the story is, I mean, I was there, but I don't remember. But like people kind of, when they talk about it, they're like, oh yeah, we were doing that and we were giving it back to them. And they got totally bummed and in a bad mood because we out heckled them, and they got all pissed and quit talking and did the rest of their set quiet. So
good job, Columbus.
I don't remember enough if that happened, but it's really funny that's how everyone in Columbus remembers it, and they talk about it. I mean, beyond that, they were really good, of course, but
whenever I've seen them, they've been one of the few bands where like if they talk in between songs, I'm fine with it because it's entertaining.
Yeah, they're hilarious.
Yeah.
Personally.
All right, last round. The last round is records that haven't been released yet. that's
okay.
At least my pick is. But I this has been like kind of glued to my turntable. I think it's going to probably make my top 10 of the year. It's a band that's from like where I grew up in Somerset, England. So I was kind of joking about like, putting more actual photographs on the covers of records. This one has a photo on the cover, and I know exactly where it is because I walked past it many times when I was a teenager. So it's kind of funny to see it on the front of a record in 2025. This building was built in 1864. It's an old building. It's okay. I'm going to show the record, and I love this. The name of the band. This is the name of the band. If anyone can guess what the name of the band is by just looking at the top corner that I'm holding up there.
Against All Authority.
Cool logo. Very cool.
Nice. That's nice. It's AAA Gripper. Is the name, or AAA Gripper, which I think because of like one of the song titles, it's an arcade like claw. It's you know what I mean. And it kind of ties in with the theme of the record. I kind of alluded it at the beginning of the show, maybe before the show, that I had a record that kind of talks about the drudgery and the trudgery of like daily work life and stuff. So I think the imagery they're going for is like, it's like walking into a pachinko parlor or this like, these arcade claw where everyone's just like transfixed by these machines, and there's desperation and like noise and stuff. And I think that's what they're kind of going for with this. But hey, got a couple of drummers here tonight and a bassist. This record is all about the drums and the bass. Like what they did is that the bassist and the drummer just recorded like hours and hours and hours of them like jamming or whatever in a studio. And then they like condensed it down to like 30 minutes. And then they sort of constructed songs on top of the drums and the bass. So the drums and the bass are kind of they're real up there, they're real like up front. It's wild. I mean, okay, so the hype sticker says for fans of the X. Totally agree. It does sound like the X or the Dog-Faced Hermit. It's kind of got that vibe to it. Also, it like ESG. Does anybody know ESG? I think they're kind of a punk band. I've never heard them, so I can't say. And Fugazi, and I know what they're going for. It's like it's rhythmic. It's rhythmical. It's like a rhythm sections record. It doesn't sound anything like Fugazi at all, but it's like it's the rhythmic part of it has that drum and bass right up front. To me, it sounds like a sort of old touch and go record almost, where the drums are like super loud and bashing away and like setting the rhythm for the record. And then the singer kind of has like a sing speak kind of style. He's doing a little bit of a Marquis Smith over the top of this, and the guitars are wiry. I really haven't heard anything like quite like this. It is out now. It's just come out, but you can check it out on Bandcamp. There's a couple of videos on YouTube. But yeah, I'm not like they're from like my neck of the woods, which is Somerset. Yeah, so this
is a new band.
It's a new band, but they've been in other bands. It's on Wrong Speed Records. I urge you to go to the Wrong Speed Records Bandcamp. They have like so much stuff that you probably might not have heard, and they've put out records by Part Chimp, who are quite famous in the UK. And they put out the solo record by the current drummer of Dave Gilmour's band, because he's a local resident of this area, so they're friends. He's a young guy who just got the gig playing drums for David Gilmour on his new band. So they put out his like solo record. It's like a drummer's like solo record. So they put out tons of like different kinds of stuff. But I'm kind of fascinated with this as well. Like this is like Shepton Mallet. I know this building.
Now, did you know about it before you saw the record? Because this doesn't seem like the normal thing you usually show on this show.
No, I've been like corresponding with Joe, who does this label, and he's going to come on the show at some point. And so he was kind enough to send me a bunch of like Wrong Speed Records. And this is the newest one, so this is at the top of the pile. So I've been playing this a lot, and I think it's amazing. And I just love the fact that it's all these references to places where I grew up. And I thought that they're playing a gig in Yeovil, which is where I grew up, and I just can't imagine this band playing there, especially in 20. My sister still lives there. It's this small town. It's depressed. There's like tons of unemployment. It's violent. That's where the Mob, like all the Mad Men records, that's where the Mob are from. It all ties in. And so I just can't imagine this band playing in that town where my sister still lives. I left there long time ago.
She has to go and give you the report how they were.
She will not, because it's like as far away from what she's into as you can.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fascinating. From the southwest of England. Yeah, it's cool.
I love how you just
very like claustrophobic. It's like super claustrophobic sounding because of the rhythm section.
So is it more than just rhythm? Like, is there guitar?
There's actual licks that they use that as the base of the record, and then like put melodies and guitar.
No, I love like that concept of just like jamming and pulling out, your favorite kind of stuff and everything.
And they did mention, like, we're talking about Can the other day. They did mention Can's Lost Tapes was an inspiration for how they recorded this. I've not heard that record, so I can't comment on that. But yeah. Really cool. I've not heard anything like this. It's really refreshing to hear something kind of new sounding. I love it, man. And I just love the fact that it comes from like where I grew up.
New sounds from a familiar place.
Yeah, actually, they might be from Glastonbury. Glastonbury will ring a bell if you've heard of the Glastonbury Festival. And then Glastonbury is the Shire. like the pound of plastic. That's where you could like buy crystals from shops run by pixies, you know. It's really the Shire. This doesn't sound like it was made in the Shire. It sounds like it was made in like the grimmest part of Grimsby or the most depressed part of Manchester or whatever, or, you know, Detroit. Or so. That's my last pick. A.A. Gripper. We invented work for the common good. It's the name of the record. It's out now, but you can listen to it on Bandcamp.
It's cool. It makes it so much cooler when a band is from a totally weird place.
Right? It does.
I love that.
Yeah,
helps.
Yeah. There's no real like scene there or anything to speak of. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. All right, Jesse.
All right. Yeah. So my last one. I don't know. I figure at this point a lot of people have stopped watching and everything, so I could get a little more real and emotional.
Okay. Well, that's
is this the record that you don't like?
No, so like this is a record that actually like I really like, but also pulls a lot of feelings for me.
Okay.
Similar to Mike talking about like, yeah, just kind of found stuff and everything that's going on. It's this. So I don't know if anybody even knew this was released because I didn't hear a lot about it. But King Louie. So King Louie, if you're not familiar, Dennis, Matt, I don't know if you guys know who King Louie was. No. So like
the Exploding Hearts thing, or is that a different King?
Yeah. So
okay.
This is the guy who wrote all the Exploding Hearts songs, but wasn't actually in the band. You know, except for a few live shows and stuff when they first started out. But he's also been in tons of just bands over the years. You know, Persuaders, a really amazing band from Memphis. Bad Times with Jay Retard and Jack Oblivion. What else? Yeah, Black Rose Band, you know, that was mostly him. He did a one-man band, which was kind of how I got to know a little bit more about King Louie, the one-man band stuff he did. But this record is kind of like a collection of stuff he did from, what is it? It was over 4 years. So I guess that'd be like 2018 to 2022 before he passed away. So like, you know, Mike, you and I got to go see him with Terry and Louie, which was amazing.
It was amazing. It was.
Yeah.
With
you know,
with Tony.
Yeah. He toured with one of the, well, you know, the only surviving member of Exploding Hearts with a record they did, Terry and Louie, 1,000 Guitars. Cajun SS, fucking amazing. But Mike and I got to go see them when they toured in Japan. I never, you know, like I wasn't like close friends with Louie, but I've definitely talked to him a lot at shows and stuff and had a great chance to talk to him then. So like something like this kind of makes me sad when I listen to it, but also kind of makes me really happy to hear the stuff that he made and everything. The inside of it, you know, it's just kind of like, it looks like basically the inside of Louie's storage space. So there's just like guitars, records, skateboards, sneakers. I'm like, oh, very familiar. That's what it'll look like when I die. But it was just like songs that he wrote over the years. Some had been recorded before. Some have like the one-man band style. Other ones are full bands and just like amazing, just really, really good roots rock, southern blues. Like, I don't know the best way to describe it. Like, if you know what it is, you know what it is. If you don't know what it is, it's something to listen to and see if it touches something within you.
Okay.
Because the way he wrote, like half the lyrics, you don't know if he really lived those situations or not. Because, you know, he had a rough life and maybe he was, you know, singing about things he knew, but maybe he was singing about things that he heard about or that, you know, he thought about and stuff like that. But this is a really great record. And I just don't feel like anybody ever really talked about it when it came out. So it's kind of like, something that came out, but maybe still unreleased in a way. I'm sure there's lots of copies out there. So I really love this stuff. I don't know. Long live Louie. He was a great guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know nothing about that stuff.
Okay.
I only know Exploding Hearts out of that whole group of.
Yeah. But like when you think about Exploding Hearts and just like how huge they got, you know, like that was all anybody talked about for like a year or two after that LP came out, right? This dude
weren't they just being talked about on this show like a week or two ago, or
that doesn't really count.
Was that?
It's like, you know,
yeah, but I mean, he wrote all those songs. Like, the man's a genius. He's been in so many bands that have never really been recognized, or, you know, it's that kind of like Maniacs Only kind of style, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, but great person. Gone too soon. Wish he could have wrote more songs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Dennis.
Okay. Tried to bring us back from that, Dennis.
Yeah, I'm going to be in a different vein. I'm not going to
1990 metal.
No, I pulled out kind of like a weird metal record, but I think I already talked about that record. So
Didn't talk about that Like record. That
more weird metal.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, we're gonna go stay in the hardcore realm for me, but
cool.
We're in America and the land of the stupid. I don't know what the hell's going on in America right now. It's freaking insane. But so I don't know. There was always kind of a thing where American bands just can't do Japanese hardcore. Or really just like any other band. It was always like Selfish is really the only non-Japanese band that can do it. But lately, you know, there have been a few, and this was recommended to me from Matt, and I know Dan had talked about this record already. I saw it on the list, but it's pretty top of mind for me, this piece of record. Damn, this thing kicks fucking ass. Wow, yeah, just really, really great songs, great sound. You know, there's a lot of Death Side in that, of course, and
it's got that Ninth Circle guitarist.
Yeah,
it's very.
It's the Texas guys, right? It's Eddie and from.
Yeah, Eddie, super.
Is that
cool dude
also Victor?
I don't think he's in it.
No. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I knew he was in Ninth Circle, though. I thought, but yeah.
Yeah. Chris Peffer's the drummer. Shout out to Chris. I haven't talked to you in a long time, but if you're out there, hope you're doing well. Very nice guy. Did a show for us one time, early 2000s, and hung out, had a good time. But yeah, man, this is just so well done. It's just, you know, heavy Japanese hardcore done well. They're not afraid to do it.
Yeah. They're not afraid to get like just over the top with it. That's what I like about it.
Yeah. It's not like, you know, some of my older bands, we've like blended it because I've always just felt weird about trying to just ape Japanese hardcore. You know, just kind of blended it with other stuff. But this is just like balls out. We're doing it, and they did it really well. I haven't heard the other album yet, but I'm definitely gonna check it out. The earlier record. Yeah, it's so killer.
Good guitar playing on that record.
Oh yeah.
I'm a sucker for good guitar playing. There's not enough of that in hardcore, really.
It's funny though, because like that came out last year, right? And it's kind of already. I'm not really, you know, the person to say it's been forgotten about, but it's like, it's just like it just came out last year, right? It's
and so did
with records like that style now, people like it, but then it's not like cool, really. Like, I mean, it's cool, but it's not. I don't know why that doesn't seem to get the hype. I mean, because I don't know. I prefer it.
Yeah, it's not kind of an in style, you know. It's very
maybe it gets too weird because it's so wild with the guitar playing sometimes. But that's what I like about it. I wish more bands
talk to the Crusties. Try to get them on Skullfest. Come on, Piece Decade Skullfest 2025 6. Hazel, get on it. Come on.
Yeah, and I don't know if people have the like listening capacity or the like attention span for something like that either these days. I'm not sure, but yeah, damn, it's just well done and just kills.
Yeah,
I'll take
great.
more of it. Very kind of like Poison sort of vibe for this cover. I feel like the snake and
Kick Rock.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this is a prettier cover than
That's
that.
sort of like not a popular thing too, right? It's sort of
Right. Yeah.
just visually and
Right. Yeah.
But hey,
yeah. For me, this is. Oh, go ahead. What was that?
I said we love it. We love that.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's a painting.
Yeah.
Another painting.
I've only heard the earlier one, but that makes me want to check out that one
That
too.
one is way more like we're saying we like way more wild with the guitars and stuff than the first one.
Okay, yeah, because the first one was still a little mixed.
Yeah. More DBT.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
All right.
The first one though still has so much more of that guitar stuff than other bands do right now.
True.
But then you hear this one and they were like, just ramp it up.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Very cool.
All right, Matt.
New to me.
It's new. It's brand new. It's like 2024, man. It's fucking new.
Yeah. This had actually been languishing in Will from Desolate Records distro for a while. You know, it'd been sitting in there. I mean, I think he'd sold most of the other ones, but he was pretty pleased that we were kind of stoked on that because he was very into it as well.
Right.
But I should have bought the other one because he had the other LP too, I think.
Next time. All right.
It'll be easy to get. All right.
The final countdown. The last pick of the day.
The last one.
Yes.
We've talked about multiple countries. And this time it's an international release. We're representing all over the world.
Beautiful.
On a 7-inch. A 4-way split. Or a compilation, maybe. But this is a heavy hitter. Every band on here is like, this is a heavyweight compilation here. This is one that I bring up to Dennis like every other month, just being like, man, this record's cool.
Wow.
It is the Cry of Soul compilation. Featuring His Hero Is Gone, Selfish, Final Bombs, and Crow. That's a list.
There's a list.
And every band is like, for a comp, I think you got to have like a good song. If this is the one thing someone's going to hear, if people are like, I want to listen to test these bands out, you got to give them a good song. And every band on here, nothing feels like a throwaway track.
The His Hero Is Gone song on there.
What's that?
The His Hero Is Gone song. It's like proto tragedy, right?
Yes, that last riff in the song is very.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm pretty sure I've heard that on a tragedy record.
Yeah. And then like the selfish track. You mentioned selfish of bands that do the Japanese hardcore. I've talked about them on here before. Like they do it again on this.
Right,
dude. That Selfish song is so fucking good.
The Final Bombs track, like I love it. I mean, it's Final Bombs. You know the kind of vocals they do. This might be the laziest vocal performance on a hardcore record, but I like it.
That's the one where he's like, it's like an announcer on a telephone. It kind of sounds like.
Yes. He sort of just talks the lyrics over the most
I'm not gonna go down the route with that bad. They have so many good riffs.
Oh my god!
Good, like grooves in their songs. I'll leave it at that. Carry on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I let them get away with those vocals. I don't know what it is. It's so like ridiculous. And then the Crow song on here is one of my favorite Crow songs. it is like the song "Wind of Hell." It is like the most just careening through a million brick walls at 1,000,000 miles per hour kind of song. Like it is just
so good,
fucking hard charging. Just I don't know what it is. There's the way that like he just yells over this like fast beat and the riff. I don't know. It's
scary.
Crow, but it is.
Scary,
it's a scary sounding hardcore song. It is something about it. I don't know. That like the intro to this song is in my head all the time. Since I first heard this record, like it's just a perfect intro to a song. But yeah, just the art of a 4-band comp 7-inch. This is maybe the best example.
I think it does hark back to like 80s Japanese compilations where bands did not put on their like lesser tracks. They put on some of their best songs on these.
Right. I think you kind of would have to treat it. I feel like you got to kind of get competitive with it. You got all these other bands. You want to stand out. Shouldn't you give your best?
Yeah, we've talked about this before. It's definitely a kind of theme where comps sometimes tend to be like the leftover track.
Like the throwaway tracks.
Yeah, something like that. But
yeah. I also like that each band gets like they each get a thing, like one of those kind of
all the deals. Artwork is so good.
So
damn good. Especially these days, you should definitely not be putting a throwaway track on a record. I mean, if you're releasing a record, it's almost a vanity project at this point. So like on a comp, it's like this should be like representative of what your scene's doing or what you're doing, or your the legacy of your band. No one thinks about that, but of course, I can look back at some of my shitty recordings from 20 years ago, and I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ!
Like a live track or a cover, or like
right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Like, what's the point of that?
But
yeah, you're like, if somebody asks and you're like, I want to be on it, but I don't have anything except for this live track or a cover. Here you go.
Yeah.
I think also there's like the difference between one like there's like samplers, and then this is a comp that seems to have a vision
concept. Yeah.
For one like that, you
put it all together, right? Yeah.
What's that?
It looks like Crow just put it all together. It's on Crow Records.
Yeah.
That is art.
Yeah. That aesthetic to all of it.
Yeah. So if somebody, if Crow was to be like, hey, hello guys, I want you to put a song on my record. Yeah. I mean, I think you'd probably do your best.
Yeah.
If he's laying it out, like, he does not.
Yeah.
He's always doing such cool artwork, and I have such a funny vision of him too. Like, I don't know, Mike, you may know him more personally. I don't know, but like, he's such a funny dude. Like,
and just follow his Instagram. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I like his Instagram a lot. And when they played Chaos and Teos, and he was there just blasted out of his freaking mind, so trashed, standing there just like doing this, and then like he'd like turn around and like get really close to somebody's face like for no reason and just like look at them, and then he had like this belt buckle of teeth on, and he was saying
whose teeth was it?
He was saying it was his mom's teeth.
Yeah.
But,
oh God. Like James reminded me of that. Mother's teeth. It's so fucking weird.
And on that bombshell, I think we cannot end on a better note than that. Than Rose Mother's teeth.
Everybody make Mother's teeth belt buckles.
Yeah.
For Mother's Day, coming up this Sunday.
Project for the weekend for everyone out there. That was a great show. Great picks.
That ends the Mother's Day special.
Some synchronization. We had one Japanese round. We had went into the Shire. We had some old stuff, some new stuff, some unheard of stuff. Great picks. Great time. We'll kind of probably carry on chatting for a bit after the cameras stop rolling. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend, everyone. Next week. There's a show next week. Let me say what it is. Diane Farris. I love Diane. She's great. And Laporte's back, and Dean Rispler is back. I love Dean. Played in the Dictators, as many bands from New York. Love Dean. It's going to be a good show next Friday, May 16th, 10 p.m. Eastern. Put that in your file of faxes. We'll see you next time. We'll see you next Friday. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, Matt.
Stay healthy.
and